New York City looked like it had been dipped in gold that morning. The leaves crackled beneath my feet as I walked toward the old coffee shop on 34th Street, the one where I met her, Mia. Mera naam Sunny hai, Mary Umar 26 Saal hai. Log Kate Hain ku New York Kabi soda nahi, lekin mir liya, was surf tabs into the jab Mia mir soft tea. She was waiting at the corner table by the window just like always. She smiled when she saw me, that kind of smile that makes time slow down. That morning though there was something else in her eyes. Something distant. Sunny, she whispered, her fingers wrapped around the mug like it was the only warmth she had left in this world. I need to tell you something. My heart didn't skip a beat. It stopped altogether. The moment she looked up, I knew this wasn't just another coffee date. Her hair was still damp from the rain, and her eyes, they were red like she had spent the night fighting a storm inside her chest. I got accepted, she said. Florence. The art residency. It's a dream come true. I should have been happy. I should have been the first to celebrate her dream. But my hands went cold and my smile cracked. Florence meant 4,000 miles away. It meant time zones, silence, missed calls, and maybe someone else. When do you leave? I asked, even though I already knew the answer. Sunday. It was Thursday. That gave us 3 days. 72 hours. Just enough time to fall in love all over again and say goodbye properly. I walked her home that evening. Neither of us said much. The city was alive, glowing with lights, but we felt like ghosts walking through it. Every time our hands touched, it felt like goodbye. Every glance held an unsaid promise we didn't have the strength to speak out loud. When I held her in front of her apartment door, I wanted to freeze that moment. Her face against my chest. Her breath syncing with mine. I love you, Sunny, she whispered, just loud enough for me to hear, and too soft for the world to interrupt. I kissed her forehead, closed my eyes and whispered back, then stay. But she didn't reply. And maybe that silence was my answer. Friday passed in a blur. Sunny couldn't focus. Not on the subway, not at work, not even on the basketball game his friends dragged him to. The only thing that filled his mind was her laugh. How Mia would tilt her head slightly when she was teasing, how her fingers would trace invisible shapes on his arm when she was nervous. But now, those fingers were packing bags. When he showed up at her apartment Saturday morning, she was folding clothes in silence. The walls were bare. Her art pieces, usually scattered around like wildflowers, were already boxed up. She looked up, eyes puffy but brave. I didn't think you'd come. I told you I'd help, Sunny said, voice softer than he meant. They worked together, quietly like a team breaking down a life. Every object had a memory. The tiny Eiffel Tower from their first date. The half-finished painting of Central Park in October. The hoodie he left behind last winter that she never returned. Sunny picked it up, pressed it to his face. Smells like cinnamon. Because I wear it when I bake, Mia smiled, blinking fast. It still feels like you. There was a pause. He didn't say what he was thinking. Then don't take it with you. Take me instead. But instead he asked, do you really have to go? She turned, tears finally spilling down her cheek. If I don't go now, I'll regret it forever. And I can't ask you to wait for me. That wouldn't be fair. Who said anything about fair? He whispered. You're not just a part of my life, Mia. You are my life. Her lip trembled, but she looked away. That's exactly why I have to go. That night they lay in bed for hours, not speaking, not sleeping. Her head on his chest. His hand tracing slow circles on her back. And when dawn broke through the window, Sunny didn't want to open his eyes. Because once he did, it would be Sunday. The day she'd leave. At the airport, time became cruel. Every step toward the gate felt like a betrayal. Mia squeezed his hand tighter and tighter, until she had to let go. I'll write, she said. Every week. Sunny nodded. I'll count the days. She kissed him one last time, slow and sad, like it held all the love she couldn't take with her. Then she walked away, never looking back. Sunny stood there long after her flight had taken off. Watching empty skies. Waiting for the feeling to pass. It never did. Back at his apartment, everything reminded him of her. The scarf on the chair, the tea bags she liked, even the light in the morning. But the worst part wasn't the loneliness. It was the hope. The hope that she'd come back. Months passed. Seasons changed. But Sunny didn't. He stopped going to that coffee shop. Stopped playing music. He still checked his phone every morning hoping for Mia's emails. And yes, in the beginning they came. Long, poetic letters from Florence, full of colors and cafes and cobblestone streets. She'd write things like, "I saw a man who looked just like you," or, "The rain here smells like New York." He replied to everyone. Sometimes it felt like they were still living parallel lives. Two halves of the same story just told from different corners of the world. But then, the letters stopped. 1 week. Then a month. Sunny panicked. He messaged. Told. Nothing. He even emailed her art studio. No response. He told himself she was busy, caught up in some gallery chaos, or maybe she lost her phone. But deep down, that same cold silence he felt outside her apartment door was now screaming louder than ever. Then one day in December a letter came. Handwritten. Torn at the edges. "I'm sorry." That was all it said. No explanation. No return address. Sunny stared at it for hours. He reread those 2 words until they lost meaning. Then he folded it, placed it inside the old hoodie she wore while baking, and tucked it away. He didn't cry. Not yet. Not until February 14th. He had just returned from a grocery run when he heard a knock on the door. For a split second his heart raced. It was her. Mia. But not the Mia he remembered. She looked pale, tired, thin. Her hair shorter. Her smile, broken. "I had cancer," she said, voice shaking. "Stage 3. I didn't want you to watch me fade." Sunny froze. His heart cracked open. "Why didn't you tell me?" he whispered. "I was scared. I thought if I disappeared, it would hurt less than making you watch me die." He stepped forward, but she took a shaky step back. "I beat it, Sunny," she said. "Barely. But I lost everything else, except this." She pulled out the same scarf she wore that last day. "I still wear it. Every night." Sunny couldn't hold it in anymore. The months of silence, the pain, the unanswered letters, all came rushing out with his tears. They hugged, clung to each other like survivors of the same shipwreck. But something was different. Time had left scars. Words once easy now trembled on their tongues. And though she stayed for a while, sleeping on the same side of the bed, tracing old patterns on his chest, Sunny knew. He had come back. But the love they had, it hadn't. It lived in autumn leaves, in train station goodbyes, in email drafts never sent. And as she left again, this time on her terms, Sunny stood at the window watching her disappear into the streetlight haze. This time he didn't wait for her to turn around. He just whispered, "Some love stories aren't meant to end. They're meant to hurt beautifully."